Hi. Good morning, different church. Yes, where some churches are the same, but we're different. So, mom puns. Cool. So, we have a new person here today. Welcome, please, Alicia on bass. Woo! We're going this way today. We have James on trumpet. Woo! Got Natalie on drums. And we have got Milo on words, slides, vibes. And I am Kiana. I'm going to be singing and playing some guitar for you today. So if you want, you can stand with us here and now. Here and now. And sing a little bit. How many miles must it take to break through? How many hours must we wait through to hear the truth? How many moments did I trade it for a fake gift? How many chances did I forfeit? Too afraid to miss. I feel your thunder pouring like rain down on the mountains of all my mistakes, rolling like rivers, running with grace into the ocean of your embrace. Your hand on my side, leading the way. 10,000 horses couldn't pull me away. I hear the music heaven has made. Oh, and we're standing face to face. Face to face. How many nights with regret do I swear through? How many lives in the review do I compare to? I feel your thunder pouring like rain down on the mountains of all my mistakes, rolling like rivers, running with grace into the ocean of your embrace. Your hand on my side, leading the way. 10,000 horses couldn't pull me away. I hear the music heaven has made. Oh, and we're standing face to face, face to face, face to face. face to face, 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 hand on my side, leading the way. 10,000 horses couldn't pull me away. I hear the music heaven has made. Oh, and we're standing face to face, 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 face to face. Face to face. Thank you. This is one we introduced not too long ago. It's called Thank God I Do. I've seen love come and I've seen love walk away. So many questions, will anybody stay? It's been a hard year, so many nights and tears, all of the darkness, trying to fight my fear. Alone, so long, alone. I don't know who I'd be if I didn't know you. I'd probably fall off the edge. I don't know where I'd go if you haven't let go. So keep me held in your head. Thank God I do. Across the universe, we can feel your love on earth. Across the universe, your love revealed, your love is real. Even then, no limit to the love you give, pouring out and reaching in, pleasing like the sun, all across the universe. We can feel your love on earth. Across the universe, your love revealed, your love is real. Oh, your love revealed, your love is real. Oh, your love revealed, your love is real. Moon and stars telling us of who you are. Moon and stars telling us of who you are. Across the universe, we can feel
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Hey, give it up for these guys one more time, please. James and Alicia, just go ahead and get your calendar out. I want to maybe pencil in a couple more dates, if that's okay. I love this lineup. I think it's really cool that we get to switch it up every week. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I think maybe one day next month we'll try and get James back with Matt, who plays sax. Yeah, right? And we'll kind of blow it out, go crazy. We did, oh gosh, I'm going to mess it up. La vida es un carnaval? Okay. We did that one time, and it was so cool, and I've been dying to do it again. So next month, does that sound cool? Yeah, cool. Okay. Hi, I'm Jarrett. If this is your first time here, if you've been here a bunch of times, I'm still Jarrett. Dad joke, I'm sorry. Couple of announcements for you today. First of all, diff.church on your cell phone. That's the best way to kind of connect with us. You don't have to hit .com or anything, just diff.church. And then that'll take you to a screen that looks like this. Woo! From there, if you're new, you can hit I'm new. You can let us know, hey, great job with the jokes during the welcome. Or the band, probably you'd say great job with the band. Also from there, you can sign up for groups, which are starting this week. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a small group with different. If you look around, you'll see all sorts of people who are not weirdos. Or maybe we are weirdos, and that makes it cool. We'd love to have you join us. There's no homework or anything. We don't watch a DVD. We just talk about the message from that week, and it's sort of open discussion. It's really cool times. Speaking of the message, I have had one date circled on my calendar ever since we knew Hannah was going to be out and we'd have guest speakers for 2 months. I had one date circled, and it was last week when Sherry spoke. So Sherry, way to go. But if I were to circle a second week, it would be today. I'm really pumped to have Josh Chan speak with us. He's spoken once before, and it blew my mind. It was really great. I'm excited to hear him again. Last thing before he gets up on stage, we are doing our normal Sunday Fun Day brunch thing. We're going to a new place today, I think. Pete's General. Have we ever been to Pete's General before? Yeah. I think it's a grocery store or something. What is it, Hannah? Do you know? Oh! Maybe we have been there. Have we been there? Okay, it's over there, right? I think so. I think it's that way. Totally walkable, so when the service is over, we can just walk that way. We don't have to do any crazy breakdown or anything. Okay, I think that's all the announcements. That's all the jokes I have for you. Thank you for being here today. It means a ton. I think we've got maybe 3 more weeks of no Hannah. Does that sound right? Yeah, 3 more weeks of guest speakers. It's been really cool to see everybody show up and support our people getting on stage. So with that in mind, let's show some support to Josh Chan. Woo!
Thank you, Jared, for the intro. No pressure. I'm sure we can't wait for Hannah to be back, too. Good morning. My name is Josh. My wife, Jamie, and I have been attending this church for a couple of years now. We're actually having a baby boy later this year. So before things get crazy for us, I'm glad to be part of this team that can help give Hannah a well-deserved break when things are already crazy for her now. So today I want to talk about what happens when God seems to be silent. What happens when God seems to say or do nothing when you expect that any decent person would at least take some form of action, but God doesn't. And I'm not going to do the cheesy thing and ask everybody to raise their hands if you've experienced God being silent before, but if I did, I would suspect that vast majority of us would have experienced something like that before. So there was a study done 2 years ago with over 700 Christians, and they were asked whether they've experienced God's silence before, and 82% of the people said they have. So I don't know what happened to the other 18%, but if you're like me, you have this doubt, you have this question, you're not alone. You're by far not alone based on that statistic, and I would encourage you to engage into this doubt. Many of us come from churches that have traditionally discouraged people from doubting, but I would encourage you, I would argue that as we engage in our doubts, it's really healthy for our faith. It's a form of spiritual exercise, I guess. Just like physical exercise is hard, but it's good for our bodies. I think that as we engage in our questions, it exercises our faith. And we'll talk about how that process could work here with this topic, but I encourage you to lean in. So today I'm going to share 5 instances from the Bible in rapid succession, where people have dealt with God's silence before in different ways. I guess we're not going to tie it all together in a nice little bow at the end, but I think in seeing the diversity of the responses out there, that it's going to give us just enough to start engaging our faith perhaps on this topic. So let's dive right in. So instance number one is in the book of Job, and I think that shows us accusations. The book of Job reads like a story that has a point, and so in that story, God makes a deal with the devil, saying that Job is such a blameless person that he would never actually curse God. And so God allows the devil to destroy Job's life, killing his family, destroying his house, and inflicting him with painful diseases. It's important to know that in traditional Old Testament theology, it was understood that bad things are supposed to happen to bad people. That was the theological understanding of the time. And so the book of Job is actually a counterpoint to that understanding. But obviously with that as a backdrop, Job felt like God was being unjust. God was acting out of line for causing him to suffer or even allowing him to suffer. And so for 37 chapters in that 40-chapter book, God never responds to Job, never even tells him what was going on. And so Job ends up cursing the day he was born. He accuses God of harming him for no reason and for being unjust. So, for example, in Job chapter 9, verses 16 to 17, it says, "Even if I summoned God and he responded, I do not believe he would give me a hearing. He would crush me with a storm and multiply my wounds for no reason." In Job chapter 10, verses 2 to 3, it says, "I will say to God, do not condemn me and tell me what charges you have against me. Does it please you to oppress me, to spurn the work of your hands, while you smile on the schemes of the wicked?" So when faced with God's silence in the middle of his suffering, Job takes God to task. He levies these accusations against God for being unjust. So that was response number one. Response number two, we see that in the book of Psalms. I think this is about prayer. And so I think that for progressive Christians, there is a tendency to perhaps resist prayer a little bit, mainly because of how heavily evangelical Christians kind of emphasize prayer as like a catch-all solution to basically everything in life. And while we don't fully understand prayer, and I think Jared actually unpacks some of that for us in his message a few weeks back, prayer is a foundational part of the Christian faith. I guess more importantly, there are instances in which prayer works. Moses, Abraham are examples from the Bible where human actions have impacted God's actions. And many of us might say that we have experienced instances in which God seems to have answered our prayers. And so we should take stock of that, because prayer is something that can have an impact. And so Psalm chapter 13 is a good example of a prayer when God seems to be silent. It says, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and every day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, O Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. My enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, for he has been good to me." This is an example of a prayer when the psalmist feels that God was not hearing them, that they were pleading with God to listen, pleading to God to respond. Notice that the psalmist recalls God's goodness to them. So the prayer is not just this blind hope, right? Not just this Hail Mary pass, but it's a merging of your past experience with God and your understanding of who God is, bringing that to the current dilemma, and then bundling it into a request to God. So prayer can be an effective way to respond when God is silent. That's number two. Number three, we go to this magnet verse, Jeremiah 29. It shows us perseverance and endurance. So many of us have heard of Jeremiah 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. However, I think it's important to understand the historical context as well. So this verse is part of a letter to the ancient Hebrew people who have been exiled through war into Babylon. In Old Testament theology, they understood that God has selected them as a people and provided them a promised land where they would worship God in the temple built in the promised land. And so that was the theological understanding of God's promise. And so when Babylon invaded and took the people away, not only was that an obvious physical challenge, it was also a major theological problem as well. Because the temple was gone, the promised land was gone. What happened to God in the midst of this? Wasn't God supposed to be here? Wasn't God supposed to be with us? And so in the midst of all this questioning, the theological questioning, Jeremiah actually takes a really unpopular route. Because the popular route would be to say that God's coming back soon, God's going to restore us soon. But Jeremiah doesn't say that. He says, you'll be here a while. So let's build houses, let's plant gardens, let's get married, let's seek the prosperity of this city, which is not in the promised land. Because if it prospers, then you'll prosper also. In 70 years, it'll become clear that God knows the plans he has for us. But for now, we got to persevere. For now, we got to endure. It's going to take some time. We won't be seeing God acting for a while. It was a wildly deflating message to a disillusioned people. Sorry for ruining the magnet. But Jeremiah calls for perseverance and endurance in the midst of chaos, not knowing where God was. That's response number 3. So number 4, we flip to the New Testament, where Jesus' disciples showed us the value of community. So Jesus shows up on the scene and gathers around himself 12 disciples he was really close with. These disciples gave up their livelihoods, gave up their jobs to be away from family, to be around Jesus and hear him preach. Jesus performs miracles, teaching the scriptures with authority, and a large movement formed around Jesus, and the disciples got to be in the middle of it. At some point, the disciples even become convinced that Jesus is the Messiah figure that the people have been waiting for. So at that time, the Messiah was understood to be someone who would liberate the people from being oppressed by the Roman Empire, which controlled much of the Mediterranean region at the time. Recall earlier in the Old Testament, Moses also rescued the people from an oppressive Egypt to essentially start the national history and faith. And so this Messiah hope was a significant spiritual and historical expectation. So Jesus kind of did and kind of didn't fit all of those expectations. He never spoke against the Romans as much as the people hoped he would. But he did speak about the kingdom of God when the kingdom of Rome was the only thing that was around. And when Jesus was asked whether he was the Messiah, he responded by saying, "Go back and report what you have seen and heard. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cured, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is preached to the poor." These are all signs of the Messiah's justice-oriented restoration. And the disciples get to be part of this growing movement that is divine in nature and historic in importance. And so what an incredible time and place for the disciples. But then, on Passover week, Jesus dies on a Roman cross at the hands of the people he was supposed to overthrow. So we know with hindsight that Jesus would resurrect, but between his death and resurrection, the disciples have got to be wondering, what just happened? What did we just give our lives for? Where was God in all of this? And did it all just end? The Bible tells us that in John chapter 20, the disciples were in a locked room together, likely in fear. So in their moment of greatest need, of the greatest disillusionment, wondering where God was, they found each other. Where's your community? And who are your people that can be with you in your moment of greatest need? Not necessarily in a locked room with you if you don't want, but to be with you when all seems lost. I hope this church can be one of those communities for you and for me. And the disciples show us that in the midst of their fears and doubts and questions, the value of community. That's number 4. So number 5, we go into Revelation, which leans into hope in a hopeless situation. So New Testament scholars now understand that Revelation was written less about the end times than as a piece of resistance literature against the Roman Empire. Most scholars believe that Revelation was written somewhere between the year 95 and 96. Don't know how they figured that. But that places it during the reign of this Roman emperor called Domitian. And we know historically that Domitian was especially cruel towards Christians. And he declared himself Lord and God toward the end of his reign. This is all about 60 years after Jesus' death. And Christians found themselves persecuted for their faith by the political superpower of the day. And their lives are constantly at risk. There's little assurance of future hope. And against this backdrop, Revelation says that only Jesus is to be worshipped. Revelation 5:12 says, "Worthy is the Lamb who was slain," that obviously refers to Jesus, "to receive power and wealth and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and praise." So I guess if Jesus is to receive these things, that means Domitian is not. If Jesus is to be worshipped and if Jesus is Lord, then Domitian is not Lord. Revelation ends up being a call for hope and a call for resistance in a hopeless situation. And it tells Christians that someday God will make everything right, even if we can't imagine it today. Even if we have to put in dragons and beasts and rings of fires to imagine this, that one day God will overthrow all of this and restore something good. The writer of Revelation calls on Christians to have hope in the future when God seems to be nowhere right now. So hang on to hope in defiance of the current situation. That's number 5. I guess the band can start coming back up. Here comes the spiritual exercise part. I don't believe the Bible prescribes for us one way to deal with God's silence across all times and all situations. Otherwise, it wouldn't have shown us 5 different ways that people have responded here, plus others that we didn't even talk about. I wish I can tell you what to do in your situation when God's silent to you, and I wish I have the same answer for me too. But I think the Bible calls us to exercise our faith in this way. You've read that people responded in a diverse number of ways in the past. So this question about the silence of God, even if it hasn't been answered, it's been attempted by generations of people before. And the Bible preserves some of the responses for us, but now it's our turn. To figure out our response, we probably need to decide who we think God is, what we think God is like, and how others have responded in the past, perhaps, and our present circumstance, and how we want to think about our future. And as you and I think about these things, we're exercising our faith. We're exercising spiritually. We're engaging the past. We're bringing in what we know about God into the present and bundling it with our hope for the future. I think the Bible is intentionally vague about a prescribed formula, not so that God can be difficult by withholding from us the golden ticket, but I think God really wants us to engage in our faith and in our questions. And in doing so, we're exercised spiritually, and that's the point of faith. So through the Bible, God shows us that Job accused God, the psalmist prayed, Jeremiah called for endurance, the disciples found community, and the writer of Revelation called for hope for a better future. They all responded to the silence of God in their own ways. So I believe that the Bible, in its vagueness about how we should respond to the silence of God, does ask us a pointed question. You've seen others respond before you, and now you're the one facing the silence of God. How do you respond?
That was lovely. I like anyone who woos. So we've got 2 more songs. They're familiar songs. So you can stand with us and sing them. if you desire. The first one's called Love Light Away. Is the race almost over? I've been running my pace with the weight on my shoulder and the world on my chest. I can't sleep though I'm tired. I don't know where to turn. My head's in the fire. My bed's on the curb. Love light away for me. Love light away for me. I've walked through the valley. I've tread on the thorns and still managed to carry the faith that it's torn. Let the sky remain starless. I won't fear the night. Take my portrait of darkness and come frame it in white. This is the last one. It's called Threads. So, sing along and all that jazz. Sure. I'm tired of trying to keep it all together. Tired of lies disguising who I really am. This pain that's hiding underneath the surface. Tired of trying to keep it on the inside. Here before your love, I'm not afraid. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels. Open me up with every breath till the darkness scatters, runs away. I'm ready to fall apart, fall into your loving arms. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels into your You're reaching out your hand to pull me close again. You see me as I am, still you want me. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels. Open me up with every breath till the darkness scatters, runs away. I'm ready to fall apart, fall into your loving arms. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels into your Here before your love, I'm not afraid. You stitch me back together with your grace. Here before your love, I'm not afraid. You stitch me back together with your grace. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels. Open me up with every breath till the darkness scatters, runs away. I'm ready to fall apart, fall into your loving arms. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels. Open me up with every breath till the darkness scatters, runs away. I'm ready to fall apart, fall into your loving arms. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels into I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels. I'm gonna let you pull the thread till my heart unravels into yours.
You can be seated. Thanks for being here. Give it up for Josh. Josh is a great speaker. that's not why I asked him to preach. I asked him to preach because I knew he would have something important to say. And I just very much appreciate, like all of you, but Josh more than all of you. I just have so much respect for you and your work ethic and your heart and your dedication to actually caring about the Bible, about how people interpret the Bible, even with your own job and your own family. And also, shout out to Jamie, who is a kindred spirit. I love your wife. Quickly, go to, it's St. Pete Bagel, Peach General. It's the same place. It's literally a block and a half on First Avenue South. They have delicious bagels, so go there. Sign up for small groups on diff.church. If you want a sticker, there's stickers over by the Stuff Center, the little table over there. They're free. Grab one on your way out. If you like what we're doing and you want to help us keep doing it, you can donate online or in the box. Blah, blah, blah stuff. I do want to say, and I know this is like a weird transition, but I feel like I should say something. So all of you are aware, I'm sure, of the events that are going on currently in our world, specifically with relation to Israel and Palestine. And many people have asked me to talk about it, some very gently and nicely, and some very not so nicely, which to me, I'm like, just because you can say something doesn't necessarily mean you should. I think the internet has made us all feel like we have to say something all the time about everything, even if we are wildly unqualified, and are just posting and sharing things on the interweb that's not directed at y'all. I've just seen a lot of stuff from the evangelical church community over the last week that makes me very uncomfortable. And so to those people, I'm like, what are your qualifications for posting this stuff? Like, do you know how to interpret Revelation? Do you? I personally, it's a hard topic for me because I have all of my dad's family is Jewish. I have literal family members who live in Israel. As far as I know, they are safe. I have spiritual family that lives in Bethlehem, which is, I have not been to the Gaza Strip, but I have been to Israel, and I have been in the West Bank in Bethlehem and worshiped with people who I don't know if are alive. My master's thesis was on reconciliation in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And at one time, I was seriously considering doing PhD work on Christianity's help of the Holocaust, like how Christianity was involved in that process, and in fact, started much of it. I ended up not doing that, obviously, because it was too depressing, and I can't handle that. All of that to say, I think I'm more qualified than the average, regular evangelical person to speak on this issue, and I still feel as though I'm not qualified at all. What I will say is if someone's pressuring you to say something, tell them to leave. You don't need to listen to them. What is it that we're saying? Obviously, we are all against the killing of children. If we're not, we have even bigger problems, right? What I will say is, as a parent, and as a person of Jewish descent, and as a Christ follower, it is completely unacceptable what is happening. It breaks my heart. Not just that children are involved in this. It should break our heart that regular people are involved who have no relation to what is going on other than the fact of where they happen to be born, okay? There are governments and there are organizations that are in charge of things that don't care about their people, or they don't care about people on the other side of the wall. And I'm talking about both ways. It's not okay. And I have no solution for that other than I think we should pray. I think we should try to have some hope, because that is defiance of the circumstances. And if you are in a circle, or you're from a circle that just gives undying, unwavering support to what Israel is doing, no matter what, no questions asked, just mute them. Keep it off your feed. Because it's not okay. It's never okay to do that, right? I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to get emotional because it really affects me personally. All that to say, I know it's heavy. And if you pick up your phone, I'm sure you've seen it. And if you turn on the TV, I'm sure you've seen it. And I have been not doing that because I have not gotten much sleep. So I don't want to spend all day crying. But it's not surprising. Also, it's not based on Ishmael and Isaac. That's an incorrect interpretation of the Bible. But these two groups of people have been fighting since 1948. It's not surprising that this has happened. That doesn't make it okay. And we should, I don't know what the solution is, honestly, but check on your people and check on yourself, okay? And if you need to talk, please text me. I'm here. I might respond at 3 a.m., but I'm here. Okay, let's pray. God, we have the privilege of asking and dwelling and thinking about whether you are silent. And there are people in this world right now who have no privilege, who have no option, who feel as though you are completely silent because of what is happening to their families, to their houses, to their loved ones. We have no solution. We know that this is not the end. It is hard to have hope, but we know that we are here for a purpose. That the world does not end like this. That we are moving toward the redemption of all things, not the destruction of all things. That the end result is love, not hate. It's acceptance, not rejection. It's open arms, not pain. It says in Revelation that you will wipe every tear from our eyes. It does not say there will be no tears and no reason to cry. It says that you, Yahweh, will come off your throne to the multitude that is standing in front of the throne of God, and individually to every person, comfort them and wipe their tears. I give them hope for the future. So I ask that you will give us hope, give us courage to press on, to have defiance in the face of what is going on in the world, and that you will bring us back together next week to continue the resistance. Amen.